Welcome back to our cabinet series.
Hey, Jim, good to be back.
Always good to have you. We've talked about a lot of stuff. At some point, they have to be installed. When it comes to installing cabinetry or a cabinet project, where do you put it on the scale of difficulty in the remodeling world?
Well, installing cabinets is definitely not a beginning woodworking project. You need to have some skills and some understanding of how you put them together, how do you secure them to the wall so they don't fall off. That people don't like that.
Your clients weren't fond of that one.
No, they're not. And no matter how many videos or articles you read about how to install cabinets, they all have their lists of items of what you have to look for and do. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, you're going to run into a situation where you have to do something different because, especially in remodel, no floor is ever level, no floor is ever straight, no walls are plumb, no walls are straight, and all of this affects how you install cabinets.
You're talking about figuring out some workarounds
Correct.
On the fly, so to speak.
Correct.
Well, the cabinets, they come from a factory, boxed, manufactured, all pretty. Do they not have installation instructions on every package?
They do not, because it would be impossible to write installation instructions on a package for a given set of cabinets. Everything is custom. The installer needs to have the institutional knowledge of how to install cabinets. You're not going to find that in a set of plans.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that, they're draftspersons or they're engineers or they're in the trade already doing something else. Say, man, I can do this. What are some of those basic things that a remodeling person who's installed some cabinets would say, okay, you need to boom, boom, boom. These are the first few things you got to figure out before you do anything.
So when I go into a kitchen to start installing, the first thing that I do is find a high point of the floor, because that's where you need to start. A tool that's extremely helpful is a laser level, because that gives you a nice reference line. From there, you need to determine if your walls are plumb. Again, a plumb bob or a long level is a great way to go.
So plumb
this way, correct.
Okay. All right.
Where level is
Gotcha.
This way. You need to determine if the wall's bowed. Does the wall have a curve to it? And again, in remodel, you're going to see all sorts of things that are just not straight and plumb and level. Okay. Even in new construction, you're going to find that.
Oh boy! Yeah.
Once you've determined that and figured out where you're going to start from, then you have to, again, the most helpful tool would be a laser level, is to get this level line. Everything is built to that level line, and that means you may have to shim some cabinets up. Base cabinets up to get them to the right level to get everything to match up, and then you hide that with trim, base molding for the trim.
I've heard, not that I know, but I've heard that there's maybe different schools of thoughts on whether I know you always start in a corner, but whether you install uppers or lowers first. Could you talk about maybe different schools of thoughts there?
Well, I always installed lowers first. I like that because I also installed by myself for the most part without any help. The advantage to installing your lowers first is you can then use that to support your upper cabinets and to get the spacing exactly perfect with the uppers. The downside is you've now got finished product in there that you're leaning over, so you want to protect that product really well.
Hammer might be clanging into it.
Well, so I would not wear a tool belt when I was doing that. Again, and then I would make up a sub-top out of either plywood or OSB to help protect everything. And it's just a matter of working very carefully so that you don't drop tools. But that was just my preferred way of doing it. Other contractors, and in fact a lot of the self-help groups, suggest setting the upper cabinets first. Again, this goes back to experience. I mean, what works best for you, the installer?
Yeah. So really not a beginning woodworking project by a long shot. It's something you want to turn out as well as it possibly can. So you don't want to get hung up on things that you don't foresee causing issues.
Correct. Because when you are all done, you're going to be seeing these cabinets for a long time. And if they are not right, or if they're crooked and you see it visually, that's going to bother you for a very long time.
it's very visual. People spend a ton of time in their kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get it right. And there's an emotional connection to the project for the client. I don't know how many times we've seen somebody in an email thread just saying, this is my dream project.
Right.
So do yourself a favor. If you're competent, potentially competent, maybe take it slow and really try to figure it out and do it yourself. If not, lean towards finding a professional that has the experience.
Yes. And I have seen some great installations by people that have never done it before. It can be done.
Yep.
But I've also seen some pretty poor installations from people that have never done it before. So you just kind of have to decide what your risk tolerance is for mistakes. And the other thing is that when you're installing and you make a mistake, you're on the hook for buying that replacement cabinet if it's been damaged to the point that it can't be used.
That's a good point.
So
Okay.
just keep that in mind. A good installer should make it look easy and should make you think I could do this myself. That always gets you in trouble.
Yeah, I love it. Great advice. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.